my next guest is a young man from Truro who is setting out to become the first tetraplegic person to reach the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro. Max Levine was paralysed from the chest down when he was just 17 in a rugby game in 2009. And we're going to talk to him now. Hi, Max.
Hi there. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Hopefully you are too. What sort of training are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing loads of training at the moment. I've got a personal trainer, so I'm doing sessions about 3 times a week, sort of weight sessions and sort of cardio sessions. On top of that, we've got, I play wheelchair rugby once a week, so that's a 3-hour session of wheelchair rugby. And then also sort of doing breathing training, so there's a thing called power breathe, so that's a way to improve my lung capacity, because one of the things that's affected by my injury is that I've got seriously weakened lungs, so the altitude is going to be a serious issue. So I'm doing sort of twice daily sessions of lung training as well.
Just describe the logistics involved in getting yourself, being tetraplegic, from the bottom to the top and safely down again. What sort of factors have you got to think about?
So we've got a 9-day trip in total, and the weather conditions can vary between sort of quite warm to minus 15 degrees in the time of year we're going, and that's one of the better times of the year. There's altitude to consider, so a lot of people don't make it to the top due to altitude. It can really seriously affect the lungs and you get altitude sickness. So all of those things are areas where I will struggle because of my condition. So I struggle to regulate temperature. I struggle to breathe because of my weakened lungs. So we're fighting all of that. On top of that, being a wheelchair user in general, it's not easy to get around, let alone up a mountain. So we've got a team of 6 of my friends plus a whole porter team out in Kenya. It's out in Tanzania. They're going to help us. Yeah, it's going to be a serious challenge. Probably the hardest one I've done ever since my injury. I'm going to aim to wheel as much of it as possible, but that will be quite limited by my condition. A lot of it will be reliant on my team. At the lower levels, you've got some sort of more jungly areas. As you get further towards the summit, it becomes much more open, sort of rocky terrain. At the top, I know the last day is mainly a scree slope, so that's very much, I'm not going to be able to push that bit, but it will be a massive team effort to get me to the top of it.
This, I believe, was a dream you had before your injury, wasn't it? So this is kind of against the odds, completing something that was in your mind earlier.
Yeah, so in 2009, my parents were living out in Kenya, working for the military, and we were, obviously I went out there for the summer, and I saw the mountain. Although it's in Tanzania, you can see it from across the border in Kenya. And as I was sort of looking at it, I was 17 at the time, I thought, wow, I'd just love to climb that one day. It was only 3 months later that I actually had my injury. And of course, everything was on hold. I didn't think I'd really be able to live my life, let alone climb a mountain. But now we're 14 years on. Last year I went up Mount Snowdon with some friends. And then this opportunity sort of got offered to me to take on. And I thought, well, actually, why not? Considering that I'd thought about it all those years ago, why not complete that circle and actually climb the mountain that I looked at not long before my injury?
I mean, it's incredibly impressive what you are doing, but behind you are a couple of causes, aren't there, that are close to your heart? Perhaps you could tell us about those.
Yeah, some really important causes that people that supported me and people that give me hope for the future. So we've got the RFU Injured Players Foundation. So they support anyone injured playing rugby and having a catastrophic injury. So they've supported me fantastically over the years. But they also do some important research into prevention of injuries, just generally looking after people once they've had these things. So, for example, the generic population of people with spinal cord injuries, they have an employment rate of 37%, whereas the people who are injured playing rugby and have the contacts with the RFU IPF, they've got an employment rate of 76%. So They really do support people to get back to living their lives to the full. And then on the other side of things, we've got more of a research kind of topic, so that's given me hope for the future. So I'm a patron now for the Inspire Foundation. So they're a small charity based in Salisbury, but they look at research that can affect people in the near term. Not like the sort of stem cell research kind of things, but things that can benefit us in the next sort of 5 to 10 years, hopefully. And so that one of the big projects they're doing at the moment is called the Bionic Bladder. So that's using neurostimulation to help people that are incontinent be able to go to the toilet again without having to do any kind of damaging surgery to them. So that could change many, many people's lives, not just spinal cord injury, but all sorts of people with incontinence issues across the world. So I just think they're really fantastic causes. They're amazing charities that I've been long involved with, and I really want to support going forwards.
How did you manage to develop the mental strength to not quit and be woe is me, and to think I'm going to fulfill my dreams, even if it has to be in a different way, and I'm going to help others while I do it? How did you manage to drag that out of yourself?
So I don't think it's necessarily that you drag it out of yourself. I think it was just innate that I've always grown up being sort of a can-do attitude and wanting to do things. So when I had my injury, it was kind of, let's carry on with that lifestyle. I think it did affect me. So for a good 10 years, maybe I didn't do that as much as I could have done. I think my partner helped me maybe bring that back out again a little bit. And now I've sort of really, since COVID, decided I'm just going to take on every challenge I can and try and achieve as much as possible. And yeah, you're only here once, I guess.
For sure, for sure. Max, if people would like to follow you and support you, because I know you're fundraising to get everything together that you need for this trip, where can they find you online?
So I've got a Twitter and Instagram, and I've got a GoFundMe link if anyone wants to donate or follow us on there. So my Twitter is Max_Levine, and so is my Instagram. And so it's MAX_LEVENE. And then on the GoFundMe, if you type in Kilimanjaro in my wheelchair, that will lead you to the link.
All being well, when are you planning to do it?
So we're aiming to start the climb on September the 9th, flying out to Tanzania on the 7th, and we'll be out there until the 21st. And so 9 days of that we'll be climbing the mountain and getting back down again.
Will you give me a shout and come back on the show when you've done it? Because I'm sure you'll achieve it.
Absolutely, yeah, I'd love to.
Cool. Thank you so much, and wishing you all the very best with it. Max, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take care. And if you want to find out more about Max's adventure, just search, as he said, Max Levine, Levene.